Hello, everyone. Give me just a moment to be able to make sure that everything is going to work like I need it to. Okay, we have just connected with Instagram for this live edition tonight. If you're joining me before I get started, come in the room fully, say hello. It's nice to meet you. Let me know where you're watching from. Sure, you can even put how we know each other if we know each other. And if we haven't met each other yet, hey, we will in just a minute. I hope each and every one of y'all are having a phenomenal Sunday evening. I know I am. Um, a better Sunday compared to how my week is gone. That's another conversation for another day. Let me also first, before I get started, apologize for not coming to y'all on Wednesdays like I normally do for my mindful moment. I had too many of them to deliver just one, and I could not settle on which one I wanted to do. So, yeah, I got overwhelmed and let the overwhelming get the best of me, and I didn't come to y'all. But I'll make sure that I do that, or I'll start getting to the process of where I record them as they come, just so I can have content for you guys so I never lose those thoughts. But if you are joining me tonight, welcome to another episode, another edition, another opportunity for the Sunday sit down with yours truly, Nicole LaTreece. I am me and I am she. And the reason I say that because in life, sometimes we disassociate ourselves from who we normally are versus the people that we are when we're actually going through something. So I bring all of me fully, my normal self and my altered self. So that's kind of why I like to start with that introduction because maybe you're feeling the same way. Maybe you're coming to this episode tonight and you're just still in the process of trying to process through some things and you're feeling out of sorts, you're feeling outside of yourself, you're feeling outside of your norm and you're pursuing this mind reset as a means to be able to get to that point. So before I go off too far on the tangent, because y'all know I can do that, we are here for a purpose. We are currently in the process of this mind reset journey. I don't know if you're coming to watch this episode after something has happened to you. Maybe a couple months ago, a couple years ago, I'm also in that space, so I can proudly wave my hand to say that. Well, of one situation, but life keeps throwing you situations. You get out of one and get into another. Not relationships situations, life's situations. I just got to put that disclaimer out there because this week it was quite a bit of um, questions and information and conversations about, people jumping from one relationship to another relationship. But do those people even consider those relationships if they're jumping from one to the other? But that's going to be an episode for a whole different show. And hopefully, my counterpart, my ace boon coon queen son, will come and join me sometime soon. Or who knows, maybe one of you are interested in joining me and having that conversation with me live in person and in real life color. But yeah, we'll talk about that another day. But welcome to the Sunday Sit Down, the show where we dive deep into the art and science of personal growth. I'm your host, Nicole LaTreece, and each week we'll explore new ways to elevate your mindset, enhance your productivity, and lead a more fulfilling life. Sometimes I'll have expert interviews and I'll be giving practical strategies. I'm here to help you unlock your full potential. So, whether you're currently listening to this, watching this on your commute right now, to and from wherever you're going, maybe in real life or maybe in this journey of the mindset reset that you're on, or your journey in life, or maybe you're at the gym or relaxing at home. If you're in Tulsa, it's raining outside right now. It's been doing that the majority of the day. Today is the perfect day for you to just turn everything off, Shut everything out. Let the calmness of the sound of the rain and my voice be what helps to guide you through this night. But either way, I'm here to help you to get ready to step into your greatness. So let's get started on this journey together. The journey of the mind reset. And this is the purpose of this reset is to help you to learn how to reset your mind so you can eliminate self-limiting beliefs and have a greater clarity and focus in your life. If you follow me before now, if you've watched any of the previous episodes, so I'll run it down for you guys really quickly. So the first week, we talked about and we identified limiting beliefs. What is it that you're either consciously ignoring, or what is it that you're subconsciously, low key, possibly unaware of, that you have within you that is holding you back? What is your limiting beliefs? Oftentimes, when we go through things, we like to place the blame on other people or other situations. But if you're here, if you are rocking with me, if you are really intentional and really like fully set on a positive outcome, a beneficial outcome for you beyond this mind reset, accountability is at the center of everything. Once you take away everything that everyone else has done through your healing process, through your process of understanding, through your process of walking in clarity, at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. When you are years down the line in your journey and you're not in contact with those people, or what those people did to you, said about you, whatever the case may be, when those triggers have fully been diffused, when those IEDs of your emotional landmines have all been found, uncovered, and properly disposed of, it still always comes down to you. And that's the purpose of the mind reset. We have to strip any and everything that belongs to someone else, that you feel belongs to someone else. Because when you get really real with yourself, you understand it was 10% of that person and 90% of you as to why you're still holding on. When, if you join this from the episode where I talked about walking away from the hurt ones that we love, once you walk away and you're in the space of trying to walk into something new, or you walk away and you're in the holding pattern, you're protected because you've been able to walk away from this previous situation right here on my left. But you haven't been able to fully go into the new situation on the right. And culture will have you to believe, when I say situations, I'm not just talking about intimate romantic relationships. I'm talking about, if, like, prime example is me. Every single relationship that I have held near and dear, every single relationship that I was intentionally engaging with and intentionally engaging in, every single relationship that I have had has been affected in one way or another within this past year. And the catalyst was one relationship that honestly didn't have anything to do with the other ones. But because I had to get to a point to where I had to reset my mind, I had to get to a point to where I had to physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, figuratively, in every way possible, because of this one relationship and how things went, I had to completely change how I went through relationships, because there was so much finally uncovered and so much revealed about me, myself, and I in the end, that it affected the rest of the relationships that I have, the ones that I held near and dear, some of them have completely ended. Some of them don't look the same, and knowing in my heart of hearts they never will be the same. Some of them are still in transition of figuring out, is this going to be something, a relationship that I'm actually going to be able to hold on to? Or is this something that I am going to have to let go of? And maybe that truth won't be revealed or uncovered until I get through the end of this part of my mind reset. Because I know I have to go through a mind reset again. I hope it ain't this, you know, I don't want to use the word detrimental, but I hope it don't have to hit like this before I get to having to do another mind reset. And then there are some relationships that I still have, but now there are boundaries in place. One book that helped me to be able to uncover what I needed to do when it comes to that, I didn't even know what boundaries were. Yeah, I know what I'm like not gonna tolerate, like flat out disrespect. Like I know certain things, what they look like when they're in my face. But in this journey that I've been on, probably for like the past 2 to 3 years since I relocated back home to Tulsa, it was a lot of subtle stuff that I wasn't as aware of. But if I'm not going to take the in my face, well known stuff, I'm not finna take the subtle stuff either. You got to come correct or don't come at all. And everybody should be like that in life. But enough about that. So, again, welcome to tonight's episode where we're going to delve into one of the most pivotal questions. What do I, and say it with me, really want? What do I really want? Many of us strive for happiness and fulfillment, yet find ourselves unsure of the goals we need to pursue to achieve this. So, today we're going to explore several key strategies that can help clarify our desires and set us on the path to genuine satisfaction. Now, I know y'all like to keep it short and sweet and give me the highlights, don't get to the nitty-gritty. Some of them I can do that with, some of them I can't. It's only 7 of them, so bear with me. But these 7 strategies, like, they're good, y'all. They're so good. Like, if you want to get to the point of fully being able to answer the question that is located right at the bottom of the screen while you're on this mind reset journey and beyond, what would really make your life better? For real, for real. Like, is that a question that you want to know the answer to? If it is, put that in the chat and just put, I want to know. What song is it? Anyways, I told you I'm old school. So I'll be talking to y'all, and sometimes a song reference will come in my head, a video reference, I'm sorry, a movie reference, whatever the case may be. And I try to keep them contained. But when they come out, sometimes you just got to let it loose. So tonight we're going to talk about unveiling your true desires. Unveiling your true desires, strategies to discover and pursue what you really want. So, like I said, in week 1, we discussed limiting beliefs. What are the things that currently are in place which are holding you back? It could be beliefs, it could be your thoughts, it could be your feelings, it could be lack and deficiency that you had in life, in your upbringing, similar to me. As I've been open and honest about discussing with you guys, there's a lot of conversations that I, growing up as a girl, as a Black girl, as an active, I played basketball. We played football at recess. I was on the jump rope demonstration team. Like, I was a very active kid. I was always on the go. And then with my upbringing, my dad was not involved in my life through his fault and through situations' fault. As a result, my mom was a single mom raising 2 kids. She had to work 2 jobs in order to provide. So that meant that my mom wasn't in the house as well. Now, don't feel sorry for me. This ain't a woe is me type part of this conversation is just to give you some context, just to give you some backstory on how I arrived to this point. And all this came out before therapy. So, yeah, your girl been doing the work. Um, I was raised by my grandparents. Grandparents were older, like their like focus was just to make sure that we were good. We were alive, we were fed, had a roof over our head, and we behaved to where now come full circle, I have my own child. And I have other kids that I am intentional about being active in their lives. And because of the deficiencies in the life, I y'all have to forgive me. My brother is calling me right now. Hey, I'm in my live. Okay, will do. Bye. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. Now, I normally don't do that type of stuff, but when it comes to family, if they're calling, I just have to make sure that it's not an emergency, and then we can proceed. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. Um, but I'm intentional about being active in these kids' lives so these kids can reap the benefit of what has been produced as a result of my lack and where I am now. So I had to first identify where and what were my limiting beliefs, as you guys did in week one. The next 2 weeks beyond that, we focused on how to change your luck by changing the way you think, and then also better understanding what the law of attraction is. You don't have to sit back and wait for things to happen for you. You shouldn't place or base everything solely on luck. If you feel like you are a lucky person, then I know that you've heard it before that luck can and does run out. Now, I'm the type of person, I don't necessarily believe in luck. Like, if I'm at Dave and Buster's or Synergy, someplace like that, excuse me, and I'm playing like a basketball game, the shooting games, or even my favorite is the tic tac toe one. Like, if I make a bucket, it's just like, oh, okay, like I was lucky in doing that because I have not been playing basketball today. But it's just like I can shoot that shot and go in and be like, ah, yeah, that was luck. I did that. But that's when it comes to playing games. I don't play games when it comes to life. I am the type of person, I'm going through some things right now. I am. But I know that God has got me. I'm not going to luck up and move from the space that I'm in now, what I'm going through, into another place and call it luck. No, I'm going to call it God because I know that that's what it is. But all of that to say, like, the way, like, when you change your energy, when you change your thought process, when you change the way that you look at things, your life will change. But in order to even get to that point, like, now that you know that your beliefs shape your future, and I hope that you do. If you don't, reach out to your girl. We can figure out what it is that you need in order to be able to better understand that what you believe, what you don't believe, what you kind of believe, what you believe but don't want to say that you actually believe, all of that shapes your future. It shapes where you're going. It shapes your perspective of how you look at this situation. It shapes how your holding pattern looks. So once you figure out that your beliefs shape your future, the next step is to decide, what do you need to change? Because if you on this left side have moved through the limiting beliefs, you know what your North Star is, you know the reason why you're wanting to seek this change, you know the reason why things have to change. And then you're looking at the law of attraction, and so a man thinketh, so shall he become. Where your mind leads, your body, heart, spirit, life follows. So if you've been fortunate like me to get out of a situation that literally could have took you out, could have taken you down, that had a significant grip and hold on you, and now you're in the holding pattern, You got to figure out what needs to change before you can move into the next space of where it is that you're going, or what needs to change to enhance the interactions that you have with people in the future based on what you've seen from people in your past. And to do that, you have to first ask yourself, what would make your life better? And if you're in the holding pattern, congratulations, you have the opportunity to be selfish in a healthy way and ask yourself, what would make your life better? But the thing is, before I continue, once you ask yourself, because you're not just asking yourself, when you put that information out into the world, when you put that energy out into the world of asking yourself that question, you're asking the universe that question. If you believe in God, you're asking God that question. If you believe in uh, whatever it is that you believe in, you're putting the call for that energy to go out in the world. And if y'all have been rocking with me for any specific amount of time, if you have watched one episode or two episodes or all the episodes or even the older episodes, asking that question is like dropping that pebble in the ocean, your ocean. Once you drop that pebble in the ocean, it's going to create a ripple effect. Now, some of y'all ripples may be small because you're dropping small rocks. Some of y'all's may be medium sized because you dropping medium rocks. Some of y'all may be huge because you ready to get that weight lifted up off of you. So you are taking the rock off of yourself and dropping it in the ocean. But when it comes to water, water ripples out and it comes back in. And sometimes you have expectations with what comes back in, but you can't always see clearly down to the bottom of your ocean for whatever reason. I don't think that we're actually supposed to, because it's like you kind of have to move through the unknown to become the better version of yourself. I didn't practice that, it just came out now. But ideally, when you drop that rock, pebble, boulder into the ocean in a perfect world, your hope is that you be able to replace all of your negative beliefs and reset yourself to be happier and more content. Like that's everything that you want to come back to you. But you first have to identify, like, is that fully what I'm putting out? And then you also have to understand, like, the reality of it is that type of work, it takes time. So, like, it makes sense to not play with it. Like, don't do this haphazardly. Don't do it, just because somebody else told you that they're doing it. Or, if you know me, don't come into doing it if that's not really what you want to do, changing your life. Because not only when you make the decision to change your life are you changing your life, you're changing the lives of everyone that you impact, everyone that you come in contact with, everyone that you talk about, everyone that you expose yourself to. Like, you got to figure out, when it comes to what would make your life better, what is the priority? What is your why? It goes back to the North Star. When I said that, there is no escaping that aspect. When you get to the point of wanting to change your life, you have to know why you're wanting to change your life in those ways. Because if you don't, and we're going to talk about it in just a minute, when you don't, you just don't know, you can't measure what it is that you've set into motion. You can't measure the impact of the change that is coming, that is happening, when you see it and when you don't see it. So in performing this mind reset, what's your priority? What is the reason? What is it that would make your life better right now? Is it a better relationship with your significant other, your family, your friends, your kids? Maybe you're the person who low key won't say it, but you need more confidence. Whatever it is, whatever the priority is, and if you feel bold enough, put your priority in the chat right now. What is the reason why you're currently on this journey of performing a mind reset, and what is the priority of what would make your life better? So as you do that, as you find the confidence and the courage to be honest, my church says hot, humble, open, and transparent. I say hot, but it's honest, open, and transparent, because um, you won't be able to do this thing and do this thing right if you're not honest about it. And honesty is a cuss word for some people. Honesty makes people break out in hives because they are allergic to it. They just don't know how to be honest. If you'll lie in a little thing, you'll lie in a big thing. If you'll lie with a white lie, you'll lie with a black one too. Honesty is honesty. You can't have levels to it. You either are intentional about having it or you don't. And then when it comes to openness, openness is the same way. I know us being able to let people see what it is that we truly look like, when we take all that makeup, all them lashes, all them wigs, all them enhancements, men too, men is out here getting their hair enhancements. Now, don't get me wrong, it's levels to it. Like if you're getting enhancements to where, let's say you have a patchy beard, but your beard grows in and you just want to make sure that it's straight and that it looks clean, maybe you're a business professional. Okay, cool. But there are men out here who are getting those hairpiece replacements, and they ain't like they used to be. They ain't no comb over. You feel me? Like they getting their stuff done similar to how women get their hair done. And I can speak on it because I used to wear wigs too. It was only because I didn't feel like doing my hair all the time, or I was not as happy with the texture of my hair. I wanted to be able to wear wash and goes more than anything else, and I couldn't because, yeah, I just couldn't find the right products or the right regimen to be able to do that. So I would wear wigs from time to time. But you have men out here who are literally like getting braids and they ain't got no hair, getting a Caesar fade and they ain't got no hair, bald on top but still grow around the edge. When you take all of that stuff off, when you strip yourself bare, that is the level of openness that even I'm trying to get to. There are people right now who know the situation that I'm going through, but it's not like I haven't been here before. But because I have been here before and I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, like, yeah, I have no problem letting people know that I'm going through it. But I'm not talking to nobody about how it makes me feel except for my therapist. And then I'm not journaling. Like, I'm not doing any of the things that promote the level of openness that I know that I need. And then you got transparency. The transparency part is just being who you are, speaking on what's going on. Like, if you're not honest, you know what? No, I'm not an honest person. Even if you can't say that to nobody else, you need to be saying it to your universe if you're in the process of performing this mind reset and trying to figure out what would make your life better. Maybe telling the truth, Ruth, is what would make your life better. But we're all humans, and it takes a process for us to be able to get there, get to where it is that we want to be. So I'm just going to give y'all some key points to consider in order to know how to choose. It's 7 of them, like I told you. So bear with me, rock with me, follow with your girl. You have to know what to change. In order to know what it is that you need to change, what you want to change, what you should change, what you could change, what you would change. All of that starts with sitting down and identifying where it is that you came from, or even where are you now. Then beyond that, the next step would be setting goals to get to where it is that you want to be. And like this is the blueprint kind of my whole coaching program. We gonna get into it. We gonna figure out, all right, if you've healed from certain parts of your past and you want to start with where you are now, okay, let's talk about where you are now. I'll take my notes, I'll listen, and I'll give you feedback. We're going to talk about where it is that you want to go, meaning what would make your life better. What is it that you see in this version of your future that you ultimately want to be able to have? Cool. Okay. That sounds nice. Yeah. What's the middle part? Because those goals that we need to set, the what not to do's as a means to hold yourself accountable, and verbally, orally, written, that expression of how to hold you accountable is the space in between. Because you cannot get from fully from where you've come from without knowing all of that picture. Because it's not enough to say, oh, okay, well, such and such did me wrong. I don't want that to happen no more. Okay, but how did such and such get to the point to where he could do you wrong? He or she could do you wrong. And how they did you wrong make you feel? And why don't you feel that you want to feel that way any longer? And how will you know that you're not feeling that feeling any longer being in the space of where you are now? But what about when the next Joe Schmo comes later on in your future? What are you going to have in place as identifiers to be able to determine sooner rather than later? Oh, this may be this type of person. All of that is goal work. All of that is the work that it's going to take in order to be able to solidify within yourself. Because it ain't for me. It ain't for your kids. It ain't for that person who you just got out of that situation with who hurt you. It ain't for the next person that's going to try to test you with the same stuff just to make sure that you are solid on who you need to be. Doing the work, doing the goal work, it provides focus and direction. And it can also lead to a way of enhancing the satisfaction of your life. Because when you move forward knowing what you know and being 100% firm on what you know for yourself and what you know for other people of how they need to act accordingly, you move through life in a whole different way. It's a whole completely different type of flex. And it's cool because you've done the work. But in order to really get to that point of being able to hit them with the flex, you got to know what it is that you truly want. Like, I'll be 100% honest. In my last encounter with the guy that I was engaging with, I entered into that situation not looking for anything in particular. Just like, oh, this event happened and yeah, it seems cool. Like, all right, I'm in this new age of dating, talking, convolution of nobody really saying what it is that they're doing. All right, cool. That also gave me apprehension in the first place. I don't know what these people be on. So I went into it not really looking for too much of anything, like, just somebody I could vibe with, chill with. Cool. Started on social media. I've never talked to dated, whatever you want to call it, engaged with someone romantically on social media. Now, the thing is, I had their number, they didn't have mine. So that's where the social media aspect actually came into play. Didn't last for very long. You know, it was on there for like a few weeks. But because we had a um, familiar space of awareness with one another, just like, oh, okay, like it don't seem that bad. I can go ahead and take this off of social media. I text to give the phone number or whatever, and communication started that way. But keep in mind, I'm still not necessarily looking for anything in particular. So once the in-person interactions happen, like, seeing one another, chilling at each other's house, watching Netflix, this, that, and the third, it was just like, okay, like a certain level of conversations because I'm aware of you, but I don't know you. Like when I first knew you, it was a song that was gonna come out, but it ain't gonna come out no more. Because reality set in. But yeah, when I first knew you, like I knew of you. We weren't in communication, didn't hang out with the same people, like didn't talk to each other really at all, like outside of one day a year. And it was just like, oh, okay, like whoop, 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 whoop. I got information. Just like, okay, this is cool for me to move forward with based on where I am, not really looking forward to anything. Cool. So as things progress, the first year was like was a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding. One, schedules was different, lifestyles was different. Um, it was just like, okay, like I believe in giving someone a fair chance. And I knew that with this situation, like there was something ultimately that I was supposed to see and something that I was ultimately supposed to experience. But to a certain extent, I was in control of that because I was aware of what I needed to be aware of. But I am the type of person, if I'm naturally engaging with you, it doesn't matter the type of relationship that we have. My energy just naturally pushes people, it challenges people to either think differently or like feel me for the way that I think. So year one was like, all right, like, yeah, no, I don't know about this. This don't make no sense. This. All right. Second year rolls around. It's just like, okay, well, now I have a better understanding of certain things. Now I need to challenge these things and identify because now there is something that I want. And now I need to see what it is. Like, is it a possibility that this experience with this other person can lead to those things? Or is this experience like all this person is capable of, whether intentionally or unintentionally, whatever the case may be? So fast forward, I get to the point to where I see what I need to see. That's a challenge I'm not willing to take on anymore because I don't want to be the stream and he the salmon and we're fighting each other. I'm trying to push him in one direction. He's trying to go another direction. If you want to go that direction, okay, cool. I'm going to get your behind about this stream. And that's exactly what happened. But I'm still left with what is it that I want? Because what I wanted came into focus as I engaged in that situation. Now that I am no longer engaging in that situation by any means, sometimes mentally, but I'm trying to work on that. I'm still left with, I need to change some things so I don't get back into the space of uh, making myself believe that I'm not looking for something when in fact I am. I'm just looking for a healthier version of me. I used to be a love addict. Love addicts attract to avoidant people. Nah, No more. Now I'm able to identify certain things from the jump. And that leads me actually into like the second point. In order to uncover what would really make your life better, we talked about knowing what to change just a moment ago. The second thing is what's bothering you. Oftentimes, we don't talk about that stuff. We just sit with what's bothering us. And if we're interacting with other people, we don't express it to those other people. The people that can actually change it are like me right now, like there is something significant that is bothering me. It's not the previous situation with the guy that I was just talking about. It's other things that are going on in life. But am I just going to sit in what's bothering me, or am I going to do something about it? Let me ask you that question. What's currently bothering you? If you feel brave enough, put it in the chat so we can talk about it. Because I can guarantee you, whatever it is that's bothering you, if you were to make a list of what is currently not making you happy, because if it's bothering you, let's be all the way honest. If it's bothering you, you're not happy with it. And for some of us, that may actually be a whole person. That may be a whole way of life that we've built and we now have to live for whatever reasons. Finances could be intertwined, kids could have been born, whatever the case may be. But if you're not happy, figure out what you can do to change it, especially if it is not something that you can necessarily eliminate. Make a list of what doesn't make you happy and what you wish to change about those things that are currently bothering you or making you unhappy in your life. You should not have to live a life of unhappiness. And some people won't do it because they're like, oh, I don't want to live in the negativity of everything. But baby, that negativity is living in the everything of what you're doing. Addressing the negative factors can actually lead to a clearer understanding of what you do want, and then how to work towards eliminating those stressors. Because to be able to have peace and not be stressed is the biggest flex that I am trying to maintain in my life. I asked the Lord, give me 60 plus more years. I'm 40 now. 40 plus 60 is 100 for those people who haven't been in elementary school math in a while. I want to live a good life, but I'm not trying to live a stressful life. So I need to identify moment to moment, season to season, person to person, what it is that is actually bothering me. And when it comes to the space of what would make my life better, what would make your life better as well, maybe, just maybe, stick with your girl, don't get upset, but maybe you need to have a eulogy for those things that are no longer serving you, those things, those people, those ways, those preferences, those behaviors, those thought processes, whatever it is. Maybe you need to sit down, humble yourself, and think about the possible concept of writing your own eulogy to that person, the old version of you, the unchanged version of you, the unhealed version of you. Use it as a reflective exercise to pinpoint the values and the accomplishments that matter most to you. Like every day when I pray to God, because I pray to God every day, several times throughout the day, but I give him my first when I first wake up in the morning. Didn't do it today, which is bad, but usually that's my demeanor. I don't immediately start with the bad. I present my praise as Lord, thank you for blessing me for being able to be removed from that situation. Lord, thank you for blessing me to be able to walk through that situation with my eyes fully wide open. Lord, thank you for blessing me for to allow my heart to love in a way that I really didn't think was possible given what I had been through in my previous experiences. Lord, thank you for this peace. And once I sit in the space of that, because those are the things that matter most to me, there's anything else that I'm still lingering on or holding on to about that, like I think about this person and I really don't want to think about this person. I'm just being all the way honest. I don't. And I'll tell the Lord, Lord, after I give my thanks and my praise, Lord, it's too hard. I don't feel this person deserves any of that. I don't want that in my life. I want to continue to heal because I know there is going to come a day, because it's already come to pass several times. There is going to come a day where I'm going to run into this individual again. And I don't want the lingering of any of that, the thought process, the little, dark space in my heart. I don't want any of that in the presence of seeing this person to open like a floodgate. And this person ain't did nothing to deserve it. They ain't changed nothing to be like, Lord, I'm not telling you what to do. I can only bring to you how I feel 100%, and I ain't feeling this. But in doing all of that, it puts me in a space of awareness to, like, I guess low key have an exercise that I use to help me live more intentionally, ensuring that my daily actions, my thoughts, and everything align with the legacy that I want to live and leave. I want to be in love again, and in loving in that situation. I know that it's possible, but the thing I need to change is I need that person to fully love me back as well, because I only know how to love one way, and that's fully, even in the space of no longer interacting with that person. And I done had my moments where I done wrote the eulogy to him, to me, to the death of the future, like all of that. But it's a process. It ain't something I'm gonna get over overnight. If it was 2 years of going through it, it ain't gonna be 2 seconds to get out of it. Maybe I'll end up writing a couple different eulogies. Who knows? But whatever the process requires. So the fourth thing is analyze your role models. I know when we say role models is like a term that we really use for little kids to be able to talk about the people that it is that they look up to. Well, guess what? When we're going through life, there are people that we look up to as well. And if there isn't or aren't people in your life that you can look up to as a role model is just someone that in the process of your healing, like if you're trying to get to the other side, what or who is someone that you can look at that would give you identifiers to be able to say, you know what? Hey, I'm there too. Or in their process or how they carry themselves, or the way that they're open about their journey, like who you look up to is considered a role model, because literally a role model, what it does is it serves as a mirror reflecting your aspirations and the traits that you admire, like the person that it is that you want to be, even before you become that person. And I have to say, to each and every one of you, don't look at the person for who the person is, right? Like, if you want to be a millionaire, okay, you can look at like Warren Buffett, you can look at, all these other people, you can look at celebrities, whoever the case may be, but don't look at them, look at the process of evaluating common characteristics that your role models possess to be able to understand the underlying qualities that you value and wish to embody. So if and I actually heard this, I haven't been watching my Thank God It's Monday with uh Eric Thomas. But some people look at LeBron, and I am not a basketball fanatic by no means. So I'm not talking about the basketball side of LeBron. So some people will look at LeBron in two ways. They'll look at LeBron for the basketball accomplishments that he's been able to achieve. And then other people, non basketball enthusiasts like myself, will gravitate more towards LeBron for how he gives back, for the fact that he took it upon himself to build a school. There ain't a lot of celebrities, a lot of basketball players out here that are doing those types of things. I can look at that aspect of who LeBron is, that characteristic of who he is, be like, you know what? I want to be a giver like LeBron. I am God's image. I want to be a lover like Jesus. There are so many like different people that we pay attention to and who influence consciously and subconsciously the way we see ourselves and the way we see the world. I'm asking and I'm challenging each and every one of you to be more intentional about what is it about these people that you actually want to embody? What are the characteristics that these people show that you feel like you want to have? And are they beneficial for the life, the characteristics? Are they beneficial for the life that it is that you really want to live on the other side of this holding pattern, on the other side of the situation that you just came through? Because in order to add those things into the mix, you still got to look at where you are, who you are, and how you go about things versus how you felt they got to that place and what it's going to take for you to embody those types of things as well. You can't escape doing the work. The work must be done. The fifth thing of what can make your life better is called the fivefold why. The fivefold why is a self-development technique that challenges you to ask yourself a question. It challenges you to ask yourself, not your mama, not your cousin, not Ray Ray, not Pookie, not your kids, not your significant other, not nobody else. The fivefold why is a development technique that challenges you to ask yourself a question and then follow it up, with five whys. This allows you to get to the core of your answer and to learn about yourself in the process. So, what is it that you want to do? Example, maybe you want to heal from your previous experience. Why do you want to do that? Maybe to no longer feel like you're not good enough. Maybe to no longer feel like you aren't capable of love. Maybe to feel like you are worthy of the type of love that it is that you seek. And why do you want to do that? Maybe to get a sense of gratitude for the person you know you really are, the light that you actually shine in this world. When you go through that process of asking yourself and identifying what is it that you want to do, what is it that you want to change, And then ask yourself 5 additional questions beyond that. Once you master that process, suddenly you have an opportunity to understand that you have actually shed light on your motivations. And then you're more able to go after the things that you want when you are in the process of healing and you realize why you feel unhealed. Then you uncover, why do I want to heal from this? Where is this healing that I'm about to go through? Where is it going to take me? And how is it going to be beneficial to me as a person on the other side of where it is that I want to be? You'll tap into some stuff, boy, because you're asking yourself, you're challenging yourself to ask yourself those questions. And all the answers and all the questions that you need to go through to get to, they're inside of you. They're not in anybody else. What's your North Star? What's your reason why? So the sixth thing of what can make your life better is exploring your past. I'm not saying live in the past. And if you are in any part of your journey where the past is honestly too painful for whatever reason, it could be, physical abuse, emotional abuse, it could be neglect, it could be disregard, it could be because it just happened yesterday. At some point in your process, to be able to heal, to be able to move forward, not on. Over here, we move forward. We don't move on. There are a lot of people, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. There are a lot of people who choose to move on, and in their process of moving on, they handicap themselves because they don't want to look at what's over their shoulder. Now, to a certain degree, you can't move forward continuously looking back. But before you even move forward, you have to look back, because there is beauty in that. When you're in a space of holding, it's a safe space. It's your space. Like, once you've ended communication, once you disconnected as much as you can from that person, once you had your process of mourning and grieving and, burying that previous experience or sometimes that previous person. Like, it's a lot of people walking around as the living dead, and they don't even know it. Like, somebody has, if you're not a good person, if you're not walking in goodness, if you're not walking in kindness, if you use people, if you misuse people, if you mishandle people, if you fumble people, whatever you need to say, if you've done any of that, there is someone that has buried you in their life, and you are literally walking around as the living dead, and you don't even know it. Like, I it's weird that I'm smiling, but I understand that. I really do. Um, but if you're in the space of the holding pattern, you have the opportunity, once you disconnect from that experience, to really look at it from a safe perspective of, okay, like, I still feel like what this person did hurt me. But to a certain extent, the hurt stopped here. Anything that goes on beyond this point is me allowing the hurt for myself, because I'm no longer engaging with that person. Right? And it gives you the space to be able to process and take the lessons that you need to moving forward before you take the big step to get into the next part of your life. You can't move forward without looking at where you've come from. You can't know how far you've come without remembering where it is that you came from. You can't know how to appreciate the full and true value of something without knowing the lack of value that preceded that thing, that person, or maybe even you. I just want to urge you to reflect on past experiences so that you can tap into your achievements and unlock any memorable experiences to identify what has historically brought you joy, peace, fulfillment, safety, security. You can't do that without looking at what preceded this current experience, this current pattern of holding. You can't really get to that point of moving forward without standing safely and firmly and looking at what you just came from. And then looking at it and really trying to gain and garner the insights that you need to from that past experience. And it can actually guide your future choices and goal setting efforts better. Because at that point, you should be doing it for you, which you should always be doing it for you. But I understand in relationships, as a recovering love addict, in a relationship, it shifts and it gets to the point to where you look for those things of the future choices and the goals that you set and how to make someone else happy. You shouldn't have to make anyone happy. They should come to you happy. You shouldn't have to make anyone whole. They should come to you whole. And the same is true for you. You shouldn't have to move on to another situation in order to find that false sense of happiness that you felt like you couldn't get in your previous experience, because the happiness was there. It just wasn't in you. So if it's not in you, then how can it be in any experience that you allow yourself to engage in? It's okay to look at the past. And if you can't look at the past solely like by yourself, who do you trust to help be your guide? Maybe it is your best friend that you done had since y'all was 3.5 years old, and in the future y'all gonna be two old ladies sitting in a rocking chair in the old folks home together. Maybe it's somebody like me who's a life coach, who understands what you're going through and is not here to push you beyond the spaces of where you're comfortable, but more so gently guide you safely deeper into your safe space of being able to look at the past as a means to have a better look at the outcome of your future. Or maybe you may need a mental health professional, such as a therapist. I have one. I'm not above it, because sometimes you need that person that will keep you centered in reality, and they better understand the way the mind works, and they can identify the correct questions to ask, the correct statements to do. If you're in a vulnerable place and all you want to do is cry, okay, they'll let you cry, but they're not going to let you stay there if that's not where you're wanting to stay. I'm almost done, I promise y'all. Like, this one to me is really good tonight. I needed it. And then the seventh and last thing that you can consider for what would make your life better: identify those limiting beliefs. Now that you know, and you may need to run this conversation back a couple times. Excuse me, you may need to go point by point and like really identify what was talked about and what was discussed in those particular points to be able to have a better blueprint for yourself. But once you've identified what it is that you want, whether it's a better job, a better relationship, um, more money, more self-love, a greater sense of purpose, whatever it is that you want, be real honest with yourself. Once you figure out what you want, you got to figure out why you're not there yet. When you figure out what you want, you have to figure out, why haven't you gotten that thing. When you figure out what it is that you want, you have to work to understand what is your version of what that looks like. You can't not do the work. You can either do the work or the work eventually is going to do you. But one way or another, something is going to happen. It is my hope that each and every one of you under the sound of my voice on this video tonight will choose to do the work. But if you end up being someone who is not fully ready and you get done in by the work, just understand the work doing you still is rooted in your self-limiting beliefs. And your progress can be obstructed because you have not fully made the commitment to do the work. And you have to push yourself to challenge yourself, to challenge sometimes those things and change those very perceptions to fully be able to enable personal growth. If you are not fully ready, willing, wanting, able, capable of growing, because growth ain't for everybody. Growth is a mug, and everybody ain't ready for it. Everybody ain't ready for all parts of it, and I understand that. And shoot, going through my own growth journey. But if you're not ready to grow, okay, cool. Cool. It's everyone's own personal choice when, how, or if they grow. But if you're not ready to grow, you need to go live under a rock, or you need to be in a monotonous routine to where you don't really interact or engage with other people. Because nobody nowadays have time for anyone who's not willing or wanting to grow. Life is too short. Tomorrow ain't promised. I'm pretty sure some people die of heartbreak every day. Stress eats away at your body. It eats away at your mind. It affects your very existence. And if I'm trying to live a life as stress-free as I possibly can, and all you do is sow chaos, all you do is know how to function amidst stress. As I said in the beginning, so a man thinketh, so shall he become. And if you the type of person you're not paying attention to that, you still gonna become that very thing because it takes over your life. I'm gonna just leave y'all with a couple points, couple things. Let this be the last thing that sits in your mind. Understand it's important to truly understand what drives you, and knowing how to use those insights, the insight of what is driving your motivations, what is driving your life. It can help you to sculpt a more fulfilling life once you know it. And then I also want to encourage you to engage with the exercises, the ones that we just went over, the 7 points. Like I said, run this back. Sit down and really sit with them. Write out whatever it is that you need to write out with them, so that then that can become your blueprint of how you choose to move forward with intention, with purpose, with a level of accountability that you may have not ever put on yourself before. Everybody else been trying to put on you, but no, you feel like you know better. Okay, listen to everybody else finally and put that level of accountability on yourself that you need to. I guarantee you'll come out as a better person on the other side. But I encourage you to engage with these exercises earnestly and remind you that understanding yourself is a dynamic and ongoing process. What you learn about yourself in this season, you're going to have to learn something else about yourself in the next one. What you learn about yourself in watching this episode live now, you going to learn something else about yourself when you watch it again later on in the week. When you pass it on to somebody else and you and that person engage in the conversation of what you've learned as a result of hearing the information that I'm sharing with you, you're going to learn way more about yourself yet again. So y'all be sure to join me for the next Sunday sit down conversation. So next Sunday, we are going to dive deep into not only learning, but also practicing what it means to let go. I know for some of you, myself included, like I said, there are ways and means and opportunities and times where I still think about that person from that previous experience that I just got out of. So that means that there is some level of something that I have not been able to let go of. And I am the type of person, I have prayed to God, God, I want to let it go. Let it be gone. Let it be done. I'm done. Let it go. That person is done. Ain't, never tried to fight in the manner in which I needed for me, for the relationship, for the encounter, whatever the case may be. Now that person can't fight. I mean, they could, but it would take a supernatural fight. God would have to intervene on their behalf. They would have to pray for God's intercession on their behalf in order to be able, my life, my presence, anything. I don't think that person is capable, and I don't think that's what they want to do, and I'm okay with that. But there's still something that I need to let go of. So hopefully within this next week, I can come back to y'all and report on Sunday that I've let go more and more. Now, if you knew where it started, you know, oh, that girl done let go. Like they say, I saw this on Instagram and he was talking, I think it was Pastor Keon, and he was talking about, for fellas, when a lady is fighting, when she's telling you what you are and aren't doing, when she's saying, anything, when she's telling you what you could have done better, when she's telling you how it's making her feel, when she's telling you these things, that means that she still cares. But oh, bless your heart when a woman stops telling you those things. When a woman stops telling you anything, when a good woman, particularly myself, stops telling you stuff, when it's just like, you know what? I'm good. Don't worry about it. No, I don't need it. Or there's no pushback according to what you've become accustomed to for the fight that I would give because I still cared. When you become blocked in every way, shape, and form, yeah, that's bad business. You've become buried in my life, but sometimes in the process of letting go, we get to a point where that becomes necessary. But we're going to get into that next week when we talk about letting go. As always, I wholeheartedly encourage feedback and questions on all of my social media platforms. If y'all are watching this tonight, you're joining me from Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and on YouTube. If you have any questions, any cares, any concerns, any feedback on how you feel like my platform is going, how you feel the conversation process is going. If you feel I be too long-winded, sometimes I don't talk enough on a particular subject, hey, engage with me. Like, review the episode, put it in there, put it out there. I don't care. My sole mission with saying that is to foster community dialogue. I can't know how I'm doing. I can't know how I'm helping y'all, if I am helping y'all, if y'all don't tell me. I'm a big girl. I can take it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Either way, we can still talk about it. So I hope this episode has provided each and every one of you with practical tools and exercises to help you better uncover and pursue your true desires as a means to potentially transform your approach to personal growth and achieve the life satisfaction that it is that you want to live. So I will see each and every one of you next Sunday for another amazing episode of the Sunday Sit Down with yours truly, Nicole LaTreece, where we are going to talk about I think you better let it go. Mm-mm. Let it go, baby. For real. So until next time, as always, please, please, please go out and pursue a good life filled with real love and all of the above. I love y'all and I can't wait to see y'all next Sunday. Y'all have a good